Good afternoon. I'm Pat Postma, and I'm talking to you from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. That's in the eastern part of the state. In 1941, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, there was no Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And in 1942, we were a huge, massive, muddy mass of constructions, along with Los Alamos and Hanford, Washington. In the next 2 years, 72,000 people came to work to develop the science and help design an atomic bomb in the hopes that we could achieve that before Germany did. The 72,000 people who came here knew only that they were working on a secret mission to win the war. They had no idea about a bomb. Thinking about a place where everybody came from somewhere else, scientists and teachers and physicians and doctors, everybody came from somewhere else. And the town was built virtually overnight. There were no wrong side of the tracks and no snob. Everyone was equal. Science as a basis for the city is a professional area that is international. People came not just across the United States, but from Europe and other countries to be part of Oak Ridge. At our 50th anniversary, let me go back to that a little bit and say, we are still a very international community and always have been. At our Oak Ridge National Laboratory, there's a court of flags that has a flag for every country that is represented on their staff. There are more than 80 flags there. In our high school, there is a court of flags for the origins of all the students in the high school. And there are more than 29 flags at the high school, or about 29 flags. On our 50th anniversary, we thought about where we had been and who we were, and described ourselves: born of war, living in peace, growing through science. An immigrant couple, he from India and she from Japan, suggested that as a monument to record our 50th anniversary, we create a beautiful temple Boncho bell. And that became the monument that Oak Ridge adopted. It was paid for by families and citizens in Oak Ridge and in Japan. The panels were designed by an Oak Ridge artist, and let me show you some of those. These are symbols of Tennessee with the mockingbird and the dogwood and our Tennessee iris. If we go around this way, we see symbols of Japan and Mount Fuji and cranes. This is a traditional design with 108 of those knobs up there, and the striker is designed to strike this lotus blossom. And if we walk around the other sides of the bell, it has those important dates, the dates of Pearl Harbor and the dates of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the monument to peace that we mean this to be. The bell weighs 8,000 pounds, and it has a beautiful sound, and I'm going to ring it for you. The architect who designed this peace pavilion that we are standing on was in awe, and he wanted to create a space of awe and respect, but he also wanted some surprises and some enjoyable, interesting aspects to it, and he designed it to be very symbolic. This plaza we're standing on is circular. However, if you look over here, the world is not perfect, and this is not a perfect circle here. The concentric circles that you see around the dark blue places, you see those around the plaza, and they're also mirrored by the sidewalks outside of the concrete plaza. And they're meant to represent the ripples around the world of friendship and peace. The cantilever design represents strength, the strength of Oak Ridge and the strength of our relationship with Japan. The traditional Japanese bell also has aspects of Oak Ridge's technology. He combined the technical roots and the Japanese traditions. These cantilevered beams that you see here were invented specifically for this peace pavilion. They are braided carbon fiber beams. Each one has its own curvature, which has the effect of making it feel like an enclosure, but at the same time you're underneath the open sky. The technology, not only in the carbon fiber, but across the way you'll see some black bench backs. Those are 3D or 3D printed technology at the Oak Ridge National Lab, and our donor plaques are unusual in that they're laser cut. The names are laser cut out and backlit from them. In 2014, we discovered, alas, that this bell, which was originally in a wooden pavilion, the wood had deteriorated so badly that it was essential to stop having the bell there, and we had to remove it. It had become such a treasured icon for Oak Ridgers that immediately the citizens got together and raised funds to once again build a different pavilion. In 2015, the United States designated the Manhattan Project National Historical Park to recognize Oak Ridge, Los Alamos, and Hanford, Washington in the Manhattan Project. This is now a featured spot on visitors' tours to Oak Ridge in behalf of the National Park. Let's walk over here and let's get to the area of the Karasan Sweet Garden. You can see a little bit of it there. Our garden was truly a DIY project. The architect had designed really luscious gardens to be surrounding this Bell Plaza. That somehow never developed, and a couple of us decided we needed to do something, and we decided that our first component should be this Karasan Sweet raked gravel garden. We knew nothing about how you do that, but we just decided we could try to figure that out. We went online and did research, and I came across 2 articles by Martin McKellar that were published by the North American Japanese Garden Association in about 2015. Martin's articles were so detailed and so lucid, I believed that we could pull this off. I just cold called Martin one day and told him about our potential project and asked him if he'd be interested in being a consultant to us and being a trainer, and he graciously consented. So we began, and the next job was to convince the town that we needed and wanted to have this. There are some advantages to being a small town, and one of those is that you know most of the service clubs and organizations. So we made a lot of presentations across the town about what this would be like and what a Karasan Sweet Garden is. We have a small newspaper, still a daily. We're lucky enough to have that, and I suppose like others, they're hanging on by the skin of their teeth. But they are pleased to print almost anything you would care to write for them. So we took advantage of that, and we provided lots of articles, including by our town historian, Ray Smith, who is holding this camera taking the video. By the time we had finished those presentations, and every time we asked who might be interested in becoming a raker, we had 38 rakers who had volunteered. And on a cold weekend in January, Martin came up to tell us about the history of Karasan Sweet Gardens and to teach us to rake. In the meantime, I had asked what kind of gravel to use, and he sent me some of his. And I'd asked how you make rakes, and he sent me detailed rakes. We found a woodworker willing to make the rakes. We got the limestone fines from our local quarry. So this is a truly local project, for better or for worse here. look at this up closer so you can see. You see there's wire hoops here. We had quite a bit of trouble at first when we began to rake the designs in it. People were just too tempted to walk across and scrape their feet. Those wire hoops have helped a lot. The 3 boulders that you see here actually were not the ones that we intended to use. The city was helping us set this up, and they decided on the rocks and they appeared without consultation. So that's how that went. And Martin taught us, took us outside, talked to us, had us come out and rake, talked to us some more, and he raked the first official design right before he left, the first official design in Oak Ridge. We have, let's walk around to this side so we can see it from this side. Today, this garden has about 12 loyal rakers. We sign up once a quarter, and each of us takes a week at a time. Sometimes our designs are really great, sometimes they're not so good, but we encourage people to have fun and to experiment and to see what works and what doesn't. We have an area way in the back here where we have put another gravel patch that we intend to be for the community to play and practice, and for volunteers to learn how to rake. The gravel is there, but we're in desperate need of a rake shed to keep our tools and our rakes available so that the community can be engaged in that. We have gone from 38 people who got the training to 12 who are carrying the load right now, and we need to recruit some new volunteers. The ones we have are really loyal, but we're an elderly bunch and susceptible to physical infirmities, as of case in point here. It's been a real adventure, and everyone is delighted that we've done this. But I have to say, as an unofficial, unsponsored group of volunteers, that passion and dedication and creativity can take you a long way, but our status is fragile because we are unofficial and unsponsored at this point. Martin invited us to participate in Peace Day last year for the first time when the Nadja did this for the first time. And at that point, we invited Girl Scouts to participate because they'd been having their own peace ceremonies at the Bell each year. And this year, we thought differently. We envisioned a big event. We decided on a company picnic in the evening, and we would recognize people who'd been involved with the Bell. We had our architect come and talk to us about his objectives for the design that he made. I made another cold call prior to that, and I called our Oak Ridge Civic Music Association and asked if the orchestra might consider playing a concert here in the evening while we had our picnic. And to my great surprise, they said yes. So that evening came off, I think, wonderfully well. We had a beautiful soprano voice lead us all in singing "Let There Be Peace on Earth." This year the Girl Scouts wrote haiku poetry to share, and we recognized the Abuloria family who had originated the idea and made the Bell happen for us. It's, I think, very exciting that we've gotten this started. I think it's symbolic for the world and symbolic for our town. And I hope it puts a motivation in the city ownership of this to invest in its future and expand and grow this place and this park. And right now, as I speak to you, I'm not sure if we've started a great tradition or if we've bitten off more than we can chew.